Welcome. I'm going to stare him down. Did you get in trouble a lot in school? I believe it. You got to have a better reference than that. Our open study session, first item is Gladstone Neighborhood Commission Home Repair Grant. Allen and Napoli, Community Development Administrator, will provide info regarding 3 successfully completed projects. Sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and City Council. We made it through the first year. The first neighborhood grant was completed this year. We received close to 40 applications when we first went out last year. We put it out on our website, our social media pages. It was even in our magazine. Out of that, we went through several of the applications, requested certain information, pertinent information, make sure everybody was qualified and what they were wanting. Out of that, we had several that were good applicants. We picked 3 of them for that grant. The proposals for the grant went out in February of this year. I sent it out to multiple contractors. Only 2 contractors returned the bids, and based on that, we sent notice of proceeds out in May, and all 3 of those grants were completed in 2025 by the end of our budget year. The first one we had was at 6307 North Flora Avenue. It was a chimney flashing repair job. The one on the left, when you look at it, you can't see that there was a problem there. But inside his garage, along the fireplace, and you see on the roof of his garage, he had water leaks, and then when it rained real hard, water would get into his garage. Since we have done the repairs, which you see on the right, he has had no water with the rains we've had this year. So it's a successful project. The next project was at 6400 North Woodland Avenue. It's a single lady. She owns the house. The deck, covered screen porch, as you can tell, has fallen into a major state of repair. She has been slowly working on her house. She had a new roof put on her, so we assisted her in removing that old porch, screened-in porch. As you can see, fixed gutter. We put some steps off the door. We seeded the ground and painted the area where the work was being done and removed. She was very happy with the project and went very smooth on this one, so everything went fine with that one too. The third one was 3601 Northeast 56th Street. It was painting of the house and the shed. So the house, as you can see on the left, you can kind of see the paint fading, but what you can't see is there was some dry rot. There were some areas that needed some caulking and repairs. So that work was done, and then the homeowner picked the paint. She was able to pick 2 colors, a base color and a trim color if she wanted, and you can see the colors on the right. And then her shed, which she had never had painted when she had it put in, so they painted it for her to match the house. She was very happy. It was a very quick project. They were done within less than a week on this one too. Is there any questions?
Alan, how much money do we have in that fund?
For the first year, we had 25,000. We spent probably just south of 17 on these 3 projects.
Okay, thank
you. What is the plan for fiscal 26?
The plan is, like I said, we had several good applicants from last year we haven't received, and I went through them all. Contacted the people that we had left over that we didn't do. We kind of held back on the last year because it was our first year doing it. We just wanted to make sure how it ran, make sure we did everything right. Out of it, we had probably about 5 people in there. A couple of them had some of their minor work already done. 3 of them still needed some assistance and some stuff. We have met with them, and I'll be working on those projects for this year. So we already have 3 lined up that we'll be working on and getting some bids out. And I'll probably be starting getting the request for proposal all put together and everything in the next few weeks.
Remind me again how we make that fund complete.
The 25,000 comes from our budget money through our annual budget put in there. Also, Gladstone Neighbors Helping Neighbors has some funds in there, and they probably have, I want to say, probably pushing just south of 30,000 in there. So we have those funds too to work with which I can see this year based on the projects that we're looking at doing, we're going to be tapping both the funds.
We've had Mayor's Christmas tree money go in there
It,
too.
yeah, the Mayor's Christmas tree money went to the Gladstone Neighbors Helping Neighbors.
Right.
Yes.
Right, okay. Thank you, Alan.
Mayor, I'd like to commend Alan for all the work that he did, the application process, creating the application, doing all the research necessary to create the application, and all of the visits that he had with people and just the interviews and whatnot. He did a great job in making sure that we were utilizing the monies the best way possible and that everyone that applied was eligible for the funding. So thank you, Alan.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Chief Destells, outline the information regarding implementation of the negotiated benefit Missouri firefighter critical illness pool. Good evening, sir. Good.
How's everybody tonight? Esteemed council, Mayor Pro Tem, Mayor. I don't know if my PowerPoint got in there. Oh, there it is. So I'm here to talk to you tonight about the Missouri firefighter critical illness pool. This program's been going on for years. They finally got legislation through. And as part of the collective bargaining agreement, we negotiated some assistance with this program for the firefighters. I included the language that we agreed to. So we agreed to pay up to $1,000, which will give each firefighter about $100,000 worth of coverage for any condition that's included in the presumptive legislation. So what is it? It's a program designed to be there for first responders when they need it the most. I also included some documents that talk about the different medical conditions that are covered under the pool. So it's not just everything. It's scheduled compensation based on the severity of the illness. So for years, Gladstone, actually Dave Cheney, which many of you know, Dave Cheney was kind of the test case for presumptive cancer in the state of Missouri. So this was actually, some of the efforts involved in his case actually came to fruition in this critical illness. So even though Dave's gone, his legacy still stands with us. In May 2021, Senate Bill 45 actually went through and it put $5 million into the pool. So it's owned and operated and by appointed trustees, which typically each region will have 3 to 4 persons that are put on that board to actually regulate the response. This is the actual steps that are required by us as an organization. And in the very near future, hopefully next month, I'll be able to come to you with the resolution or an ordinance. I think for a city, we're required to do an ordinance for it, to participate in the pool and complete the documentation for it. Once everything's done, it gets sent in to the coordinator and we're online with them. We just have to submit a roster of personnel that'll be covered. So the cancer program, what we've done a lot of legwork on the backside of this in getting ready for it. So you may recall that the council actually approved an extractor washing machine last year for Station 2. That was part of leading up to this. They only had one extractor, and what we were seeing is guys were not cleaning their gear because it was too much of a hassle to take it over to Station 1, right? You know, a simple thing like that. So we put that in place. We put a clean cab policy in place. You're no longer allowed to get into the vehicles with dirty bunker gear on. You have to remove it. You have to make sure you have your street shoes with you on all calls so that we can keep that area clean and free from, you know, the carcinogenics. We have a field decon now. So anytime they do have a structure fire, they're exposed to smoke. They're to immediately decon after the fire. We have some special wipes that they can use to clean their neck, arms, things like that. Again, all the gear gets bagged up, goes in the back of the truck. We take it to the station and it goes to the decon. So they are also required to shower within an hour of the incident. The plus side of this is that I required them all to take the IAFF's cancer awareness program. So a lot of times, it's in a lot of industries, there's a way things were done in the past. That's absolutely unacceptable in this environment, because when I started out firefighting, everything was traditional construction. It was typically, wood, heavy timber, things like that. Most of the times, the only thing you had to worry about was like a composite roof. So there were very little synthetic materials we had to deal with. Well, now, construction materials are primarily made out of composites. So you have a lot of glues, particle boards, things like that. They burn at super high heat and they give off a tremendous amount of toxic gases. So we had to get them out of that mindset of, the way we used to do things, and not cleaning your helmet because it was somehow a badge of honor. The dirtier the helmet, the better the firefighter you were. So getting them out of that mindset and getting them into a mindset of thinking about their future. It wasn't, when I was a 20-year-old guy doing it. Now, when you're in your 50s, looking back, I shoulda, coulda, woulda, I wish I did something different. So we've been working with them on those, those concerns. And it seems to be working. But there is, actual documentation, data, and research to prove that these programs, preventative programs, are essential. So you can see by the slide that I put in that firefighters are at a much higher risk for those certain types of cancers that are listed, not to mention other conditions like thyroid disease and things like that. So this program, when it came out, was incredibly beneficial to the fire service. You can see this is a calculation for membership cost. That's where, if we put in for it today, that's what it's going to cost. Pretty simple, straightforward. It's per member. And really, it's the line firefighters and the captains and the battalion chiefs. So administrative staff is not included. It's a complex program. I gave you a copy of the actual agreement for you to look over at your convenience. But if you have any questions on it, please let me know, and then we'll get that ordinance together and get that presented to you. Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well then, we shall convene the regular council meeting at 7:30. Thank you. You made amends in a hurry. Call to order the Monday, August 25, 2025 Gladstone City Council meeting. Madam Clerk, please note all members are present. And if you would, please stand and join us for the presentation of the colors and the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
From VFW Post 10906, we probably don't thank them often enough. Dennis Perkins, Gordon Harris, Jim Zimmerman, and Jim Cox, we thank you. Item 4 on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Are there any corrections, changes, additions? None. The agenda shall stand approved. Approval of the August 11, 2025 regular city council meeting minutes.
Mayor Smith,
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
I move for the approval of the August 11, 2025 regular city council meeting minutes.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Item 6 is a proclamation, Daughters of the American Revolution, Constitution Week. If you all would please join me right down here.
Over, you want to be in the middle there.
Proclamation. Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating the Constitution Week in September. Now, therefore, I, Les Smith, Mayor of the City of Gladstone, Missouri, on behalf of the members of Gladstone City Council and all Gladstone residents, do hereby recognize the week of September 17, 23, 2025 as Constitution Week, and join the National Society of the Daughters of the American Revolution, William Boydston Chapter, in encouraging all residents to reaffirm the ideals the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained. Signed this 25th day of August, 2025.
Sorry, just so you're a little bit more. Sorry, thank you.
Next item is communications from the audience. Any members of the public are invited to speak about any topic not listed on the agenda this evening. While speaking, please give us your name and address for the record and limit your comments to no more than 5 minutes.
Good evening.
Yes, sir.
My name is Justin Sanborn McMean. I'm actually a resident of Oakview, but we use the services here in Gladstone. So I came here tonight to actually share a really fun and positive story that I felt like you all needed to hear. We use the regular services and have for the last couple of years over here at the community center in the pool. We always have an amazing time. I feel like my two boys are safe. It provides a fun, safe, welcoming environment, not just for my family, but many other families. And recently we had, both of my boys are special needs. One of them really tough to kind of handle. Apparently there was an interaction with another patron that didn't go so well, which we were not aware of. Usually we're pretty right there with them. But the other day I was actually in the community center and Ashley, Adams, I believe is her last name, had stopped me, pulled me over to the side, and she was kind of talking about that, what the interaction and what had happened with this other patron briefly. But how she handled the situation was with utter like dignity, professionalism, and when she approached the situation, rather than just say, "Hey, can you keep a more closer eye on him?" It's easy to say that as a human. She actually said, "How can we help him through that situation? Like if this happens again and you're not right there in that moment, how can we help him? What can we do? What works best for him?" And her continued comments through that discussion, not only did she handle that again with compassion and the way she did it and involved him with the solution, but it just showed me that it was more than just an email to you all. And I wanted to reiterate to you guys, that even though I'm not a resident, how much those services over there mean to my boys, my family, many other, I mean, we swim there 5 days a week inside, 7 days a week out. And we'd swim 7 days a week in if we could, if they didn't have the leisure clothes for swim lessons. So, they were working on an adaptive swim program. Right now, it's kind of cost prohibitive. So we had 4 weeks of a test program and that's kind of in, but my son made massive progress in just those 4 weeks. And so I really hope, things like that will continue, they can find a way. But, that you guys have an amazing staff out here. They're always, always kind. And I can't tell you the number of families with special needs, kids, adults that have been swimming here for years. And it's a safe space. So that resource across the street means so much to, the kids, to my boys, to my family. And then to have that interaction with Ashley was just commendable. And, there's lifeguards there, Mackenzie, Kylie, Xavier, Abby. I can go on and on with the ones that are just hands down. I mean, there's one new guard that his name's Joe. I had sent AJ a compliment or stopped him when he started. He's in high school, but I can tell you that, those guards are constantly looking, constantly watching. I mean, he was up in the slide and still just constantly down. And yet he stops and interacts even on his downtime to interact with not just my son, who absolutely just flocks to him, but other kids that are special needs. And I just, how you see people interact with compassion speaks volumes. So you guys have some great staff over there and it's a great resource. So I just, again, Ashley did a fantastic job of handling that situation. Those are skills you can't teach someone. That comes from the heart. So.
Yeah, do our folks have your address? I'd like to send you something.
Yeah, I believe Jordan, I talked to him the other day, and he's got our address from the membership and stuff. But yeah, it's just to watch my son, the being able to go to the pool versus not, the amount of energy, because he is extremely high energy. And even after those 4 weeks of swim lessons, we went from him not being able to function in the water. He would like scream if you try to put a life jacket on. To Father's Day, put a life jacket on him, and now he's buzzing up and down the deep end and, safely. And instead of having to be pulled out and me worry, he's coming over with his life jacket, so he knows his stop points. And that's one thing I'm thankful for too, is the lifeguards. The staff you wouldn't have wouldn't be without Ashley. She's been part of their hiring process, I think. And they teach him water safety. I mean, that you see, that's the number one cause of injury and result of loss of life with kids with special needs with autism is drowning. So I think it speaks volumes to have staff that are caring, compassionate, aware, and just constantly provide a good, safe environment.
You know, and we appreciate you coming because not everyone who comes up has a positive story. But you know, that kind of speaks to the culture over there. And you're right, Ashley has a lot to do with that hiring process, I'm sure. And Jordan, I'm sure you'll pass all that along. But in not living in Gladstone doesn't matter. That's why it's called a community center. And you go way back to when this thing, and Mayor Pro Tem Moore can tell you, when we talked about building the community center, it truly was to bring people in Northland together. And it happened to be in Gladstone, and our folks supported it. But it is a true community center, and I'm glad that you use it, and ecstatic that you've had a positive experience, because that is important in their development as well. I mean, there's lifelong lessons being learned here. So we do appreciate you, and we appreciate you for stepping forward and tell us, and we definitely will pass that along and give them a good pat on the back. And thank you for coming up.
Yep, I plan on sending an email just to make sure that it's in writing. I just really
Absolutely.
appreciate you all. And I can tell you, like the luau, that is one thing. Those are some core family memories. So I hope you guys always keep that up. That is a fantastic opportunity for people to build relationships. You mentioned community, the number of families that we've connected with, formed traditions with, even just the break between the regular pool and the luau, going up to the shelter house. And now we've got a salsa and chips thing we do every year, and we've done for the last couple of years. I think we're fourth year on it now. And now families are joining us, and it's really cool. They said that's a sense of community, so we really appreciate it. Thank you for having
Absolutely.
that resource.
Thank you.
Yep.
Is there anyone else who'd like to address the council this evening? Hear from the city council, Councilman Nave.
Nothing this evening, Mayor.
Councilman Davis.
Couple things real quick. One, Justin, thank you for saying that. That goes a long ways, and that was a big piece of me wanting to be a part of this council, is building core family memories. So the more that can happen is a powerful statement. With that being said, another one that we can build is Gladfest coming up, right? Want to remind you for that piece. So October 4th, I think that we're still looking for barbecue competition entries. What is the date that you need it by, Mr. Peter?
We don't necessarily have a timeline on it. We can always extend it if we need to. But I think we have eight or nine entries as of this morning, hoping to get to 16. That would be the goal. But I'll mention that in my comments too.
Took it from. The other thing I will say, which I'm going to steal from you, I'm sure as well, is driving here, I see a beautifully painted water tower, and it looks beautiful. So I didn't want the mayor to say that tonight. So I wanted to take it from him. That's it tonight.
Thank you. Councilman Spallo.
Just a couple items, Mayor. So a couple Saturdays ago, I had the opportunity to go over to the Sunflower Festival and cut down some gorgeous sunflowers and enjoy the day. It was just very hot, you know how hot it was, but it was a great day. A lot of people, over 1,400 people came in that day, and 1,500 people came in that day and enjoyed the opportunity to cut their own flowers or purchase. And then all the vendors that were set up had great stuff. And I know that we sold out of lemonade and whatnot, but it was a really fun activity. And again, thank you to Farmer Eugene Suter for all the work that he does at the farm. We can't pay him back for what he does for us. And the sunflowers are just magnificent. Unfortunately, we lost our pumpkin patch this year due to the crazy weather that we've had throughout the summer. At no one's fault but weather. So hopefully next year we'll get our pumpkins back. But for now, the sunflowers are outstanding. So thank you, Shelley. Also, the 5K was this past weekend to raise money for the farm. I was not able to attend myself just because of work, but several of my neighbors participated in the run, and they just had a blast, and they look forward to it every year. So thank you to everyone. Jerry, I drove right past you and you didn't see me. I got out of town before it started. I went down Pleasant Valley Road, so I was gonna honk, but I was in my work car, so you wouldn't have known me. There you go. Thank you. All the volunteers. So thank you to all the volunteers, everyone that helped organize it. It's a great event every year. So thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to piggyback on what Councilmember Spallo said about the Sunflower Festival. We had a chance to go to, and it was remarkable. The number of booths they had was doubled, I think, from last year. So it was a great event. And again, we can't give enough thanks to Eugene for all of his amazing efforts. And he's got a great team of young people who've helped with the corn and helped with the sunflowers. So big kudos to Eugene. I also wanted to remind everybody, I'm sure are you ready for this? The Glad Green Team, September 6th, we're going to meet at Chapel Hill School, and we'll be cleaning up 67th and 68th east to the roundabout. So if you have a free bit of time on Saturday morning, September 6th, please join the Glad Green Team. I'm looking at you two.
We're there.
I know you're there. You're there. I got it.
Are we really going to let her shame us
That's
into
some
this?
that is some serious peer pressure right
It
there.
is. But the vests are so cool. You look so cool. Yeah, it is. Thank you, Mayor.
Yes, thank you. There's nothing left for me. So, consent agenda is item number 10. Madam Clerk, will you please explain and read the consent agenda? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Good grief. I looked over here and there's nobody there.
I understand that, I get it, so.
So, Assistant City Manager Austin Greer, you might explain where the manager is this evening.
I will do that. So you all have noticed that City Manager Bear's not with us tonight. He's actually awaiting the arrival of his first grandchild. So I just texted with him, and there is no baby yet, but I think they're all in for a long night, but everything is going well so far.
Well, he said that it was being a little stubborn, and I think there's a bloodline there. It explains it.
I would have to agree. I think that's probably likely. In addition to that, I do have a few other comments. City Hall will be closed on Monday, September 1st. In observance of Labor Day, the community center will be open with modified hours from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and regular operations resume Tuesday, September 2nd. Guest, a new on-demand ride service launches in Gladstone on September 1st. The program offers door-to-door rides within the city to the nearest bus stop and to regional healthcare facilities. More information is available on the city's website, and we plan to have a ribbon cutting on Tuesday, September 2nd. I do believe Mayor Smith has strong-armed his way into receiving the very first ride, so the rest of you will probably have to pay, but he's going to get the first ride, it looks like.
Doesn't mean you can't pay for your ride, too.
No, I don't think
Why
he
would he
wants
do
to.
We've already
so-
negotiated that.
Yeah, I just don't think he wants to, so.
It's negotiated. I'm sorry.
The Scarecrow Run, I'm going to piggyback off Councilman Spallow's comments. Our very own Parks and Recreation Director, Jordan Brown, participated in the event. I'm not sure if Director Brown thrived in the run or just survived, but nonetheless, he finished the race and the ambulance wasn't called for him. So big thanks to him and his staff for putting on such a great event. And then, as always, just a friendly reminder, registration is still open for Gladfest Smoke Fest and the Gladfest Parade. So whether you're grilling, creating a float, or sharing something special, we'd love to have you participate in the celebration, and details can be found at discovergladstone.com. Thank you, Mayor.
Excellent, thank you. Justin, you might note that we're a little lighthearted here, but isn't it great to just see everybody getting along at an actual government council meeting? I mean, it's fabulous, right?
That's new to me.
This stuff doesn't make the news. Now, Madam Clerk, it's your turn.
A consent agenda allows the city council to consider and approve routine items of business without discussion. Any member of the city council, the city staff, or the public may request removal of any item from the consent agenda and request that it be considered under the regular agenda if discussion or debate of the item is desired. Items not removed from the consent agenda will stand approved upon motion by any council member, second and unanimous vote to approve the consent agenda as published or modified. Consent agenda, Resolution R-25-48, a resolution authorizing acceptance of a proposal from Independent Salt Company for the purchase of snow removal salt. Resolution R-25-49, a resolution authorizing the city manager to execute a contract with Hygiene's Janitorial Service, Inc. in the amount of $70,500 for annual janitorial services at certain City of Gladstone facilities. Resolution R-25-50, a resolution authorizing acceptance of work under contract with Infrastructure Solutions LLC and authorizing final payment in the amount of $86,935.01 for the fiscal year 24 water main replacements and storm drainage project, WP 2487. Consider approval of annual Meadowbrook Community Improvement District budget for July 1, 2025 to June 30, 2026, and 5-year plan.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience who would like an item removed from the consent agenda? Staff? Council? Hearing none, I entertain a motion.
Mayor Smith,
Councilmember Swallow.
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second?
A motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Item 11 is first reading Bill number 25-25, an ordinance amending Schedule 5 of the Model Traffic Code, Gladstone Municipal Code, Section 4.100.020, to restrict parking at certain locations in the Trails subdivision. Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Mayor Smith, I move to place Bill number 25-25 on its first reading.
Second?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Madam Clerk, please read the bill.
First reading Bill number 25-25, an ordinance amending Schedule 5 of the Model Traffic Code, Gladstone Municipal Code, Section 4.100.020, to restrict parking at certain locations in the Trails subdivision.
Mayor Smith.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
I move to accept the first reading of Bill number 25-25, waive the rule, and place the bill on its second and final reading.
Second?
A motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Madam Clerk.
Second reading Bill number 25-25, an ordinance amending Schedule 5 of the Model Traffic Code, Gladstone Municipal Code, Section 4.100.020, to restrict parking at certain locations in the Trails subdivision.
Mayor Smith.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore.
I move to accept the second reading of Bill number 25-25 and enact the bill as ordinance number 4.709.
Second?
A motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilman Nave?
Aye.
Councilman Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember Spallo?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Moore?
Aye.
Mayor Smith?
Aye. Thank you. Item 12, Resolution R-25, excuse me, -51, a resolution authorizing change order number 1 in the amount of $64,082.50 to the contract with Fleshman Construction Incorporated for the Gladstone KCMO Dog Park Project CP2459.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilman Nave.
I move to accept Resolution R-25-51.
Second.
Motion and second. Is there any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is there any other business this evening? Before I choke to death. Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you.